Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm not gonna lie to you, I've definitely been gone a little bit longer than I planned to be gone, and it's not even that long. It's not like I've been away for like, you know, a month or two or something, but I definitely wanted to get back a little bit quicker than this, and you know, we're friends here, so I'm just gonna be honest with you. Honesty and communication is the best policy. A game that I play had a DLC drop, and it has a raid in it, and I've just been going crazy in that raid, losing a lot of sleep. So that's where part of it is. Also, it's like end of year for me at my job, so it's just been a crazy time. But just believe, I've definitely been thinking about you, okay? I've been thinking about you, and I'm so glad that we're back here together, okay? Understand that. Daddy's home. All right, now I'm playing. All right, anyways. But yeah, we're back again for another one, and we are starting a brand new series today. And listen, I know I say that like every other video, but I told you this one was gonna happen. I told you this like a few videos ago. This is DARPA docs, okay? So this is the series. You know, I said it was gonna happen. It's coming, it's here, it's now. It is now, the series is starting now. So, DARPA, what is DARPA? Well, DARPA is a government entity, and here's kind of the best way I can put what DARPA is. Have you ever seen any type of James Bond movie or something along those lines? And there's always that part where they like go back to the HQ, the headquarters or whatever, and then, you know, they go and they say, here's the research department or whatever, and then they show the people in there and they're like, you know, working on the new gadgets or whatever, just like crazy kuka stuff like pills that make you shrink altogether. And, you know, just ray guns and, you know, flamethrowers and, you know, all that crazy stuff. That's basically the US government's version of that, DARPA. It stands for the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. It's a lot. And just like I said, that's what they do basically all day, is they try to come up with cutting edge technology, and sometimes it gets used for the military, the government, sometimes it spins off and we use it, and a lot of us don't even know we use some of the technology that is birthed by those great minds themselves. One of these projects that we will talk about today is Project CALO. Very interesting project, and I guarantee you, if you don't already know about this subject, you have used this technology, and some of you people probably use it a lot, like a lot in your everyday life. And it was a project that spun up from the government. In 2003, Project CALO was created and initiated by DARPA. CALO stands for Cognitive Assistant that Learns and Organizes. Also, CALO, C-A-L-O, in Latin, it's like always Latin, means soldier's servant. Hence, it being some type of assistant that aids soldiers, or initially was meant to aid soldiers. It's AI. It's an AI that is a personal assistant. If you are picking up what I'm laying down, when I said earlier, these things get used in modern day, I think you know where we're going to end up, but don't jump the gun yet. Let's break apart this in the overview first. The main goal of CALO was to take a bunch of tasks, and tasks that were somewhat similar in the ballpark of each other, that required decision making by humans, and figure out a way to where these tasks could be automated, given the fact that they considered these tasks automation resistant in the past. DARPA was granted a contract that lasted for 5 years, and within this 5 years, they actually hired quite a few people to work on this project, roughly about 300. And of these 300 people, they really ranged in expertise and all walks of life. Some of these people even being from different universities and colleges around the US. Many of them, I think over 20, maybe in the ballpark of 22, 25 different universities, colleges, and people from different companies were a part of this project, along, of course, with the actual DARPA personnel as well. Some of these range from a University of California at Berkeley, Texas, Rochester, Fetch Technologies, the SRI, which is Stanford Research Institute, and Harvard, if I didn't already say that. And like I said, upwards to 20, 25 more companies and institutes outside of DARPA itself. Most of these people ranged in expertise dealing with, as you guessed it, engineering. So a lot of engineering directors, computer scientists, program directors, and things along that nature. So the goal of this was to not just make some type of advanced AI that is a good order taker, because at that particular time, we kind of already had that. So we wanted to dig a little bit deeper. So the goal was to make something that was cognitive, that could not just take orders, but actually digest the information and be able to organize it, and not just organize it, but even respond to surprises, evaluate the information that it takes, and make predictive guesses as to what path that would ultimately lead it. So it was designed to start detecting patterns and figure out certain things. And we'll dive into that a little bit deeper, because there are about 6 main functions of this software that this entire team worked on to perfect. And I will tell you a little bit about each one of those functions. So like I was saying, there are about 6 functions. Function number 1 was organizing and prioritizing information. So when it comes to organizing and prioritizing, it was doing this with data such as emails, appointments, messages, different types of files, and different types of dates and events as well. And it was doing it in a sense that it could also learn and predict, and it would even take into account certain factors, such as who is a part of the project, what type of role do they have, what's their position, what is their hierarchy, what type of project exactly are we working on. So it could sort by all of those things: projects, personnel, hierarchy, as in, is management needed for this? Maybe we should include management on this. And it would just make all of these decisions basically without anybody telling it to. The second function was preparing information artifacts. So have you ever worked in a company and let's say that there's some type of report, right? A report that you guys look at or utilize maybe on a weekly or monthly or a quarterly basis. Well, CALO, the AI, its function was to figure out exactly what type of information it is, and it would actually look at the previous documents and parse together new documents based off of that information alone, which I think is super kind of dope. So yeah, this thing would basically put together reports whenever people needed it to, and it would just have them ready, and it could use the previous reports and base that information off of making a brand new report on its own. I don't know, maybe I'm a nerd, but this is like, I don't know, I think this is dope, but whatever. The third function is mediating human communications. So I thought this one was pretty dope and slightly freaky, but CALO is able to basically be you for a split second. Let me explain. So let's say that you have a meeting coming up, right? But you can't make it. And let's say not only can you really not make it, but you still want to be in it, but you can't for whatever reason. So if it's something like a Zoom meeting or something like that, but you yourself can't be in the Zoom meeting because, I don't know, maybe you're busy, maybe you're like on a plane, or in the government's case, I don't know, maybe you're being a spy or in the middle of a shootout, I don't know. But let's just say you still wanted to get pieces of the meeting exactly when it happened. Well, CALO could do that for you. And it's kind of interesting. So CALO could actually make a transcript of the meeting itself, and not only make a transcript, but it could even pick apart very key parts of the meeting, so you don't have to look at this gigantic wall of text, which I think is freaky that it would make the whole transcript, but then it would also give you the cliff notes. Like, what? And not only that, but it would actually do it live. So while the meeting was actually occurring, it could just give you this information and send it to you, I guess in an email or like a push notification. So you just get a text and it'll be like, I don't know, Bob made the motion to put everybody in khaki pants on Fridays, whatever, I don't know. And then you get the notification and you'd be like, man, I don't want to wear no khaki pants on Friday. No, And you could just do it right there without actually having to speak or view the meeting in Zoom or whatever else itself. Function number 4 is task management. So this is something that I think most people have kind of grown accustomed to. And if you've used the softwares I'm going to name later in the video, you've definitely taken advantage of this yourself. So CALO can, of course, automate your tasks. If it sees certain things on your calendar and it sees that you keep putting them in over and over again, after a while, you won't have to tell it to do so, and it will just start adapting your calendar or your itinerary for you. And of course, you know, if you want to go in and edit some things, you can. But CALO's whole goal is to take some of this off of your plate, make life a little bit easier. Function 5, scheduling and reasoning in time. Very similar to what I just said with the task management, it can basically start viewing, monitoring some of your scheduling, and it can start automating and making those decisions for you. Honestly, I'm really not 100% sure what the difference between 4 and 5 is. I know they say that number 4, it does learn your behavior after a while, so who knows how deep that could go. Like maybe one of these is more about tasks and maybe the other one is more about lifestyle. That's the only thing I can kind of think of. So I don't know, maybe after a while it'll say, hey, you usually go to sleep at 9:54. Go to sleep. I don't know. Whatever, but yeah. And function number 6. I thought this one was also pretty interesting. It's called resource allocation. So I thought this one was pretty cool, and it kind of ties the whole bow on the whole thing. So allocating resources, right? CALO actually has its own built-in perception. Again, remember what I said earlier about it memorizing hierarchies, roles, projects, things along those lines? Well, CALO has the ability to reach out and request help on certain projects and in other forms of, I guess, work. So it can reach out and it can either ask or request from help from other electronic devices. Didn't really specify what that meant. Or it could reach out to actual other human people. And it could be like, hey, for a task like this, it seems like you may need blankety blank person that specializes in that. So I'm going to shoot that person an email and ask them if they want to help you out on this project. Hey, if you're asking for something like that, that's definitely going to require managerial approval. So let me go ahead and ping the manager and get them on this project to approve this. And all of this is done basically without you having to lift a finger, which again, I think is dope. Technologies like that really do help out, especially if you're a person that has been in the side of operations and there's certain tasks that you need to get done in a very quick time period. And have you ever been at a job, right? And you need to get something done and you swear you've done everything that you can do, but it's still getting hung up somewhere along the process? Well, you don't got to worry about that with CALO. CALO's like, oh, I've seen this situation. Oh, let me go ahead and hit them up, bring them in, bring this person in, boom, 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 bust that up, knock that out, boom, next project. So yeah, very interesting. So let's jump into a few spinoffs that I talked about that you probably utilize today, and you may not have even realized it. In 2007, DARPA brought this technology to the marketplace, making it something available to the public. Well, they made a spin-off company, and they made a, you heard it, watered down version of this AI. In 2007, that watered down version of this AI and that spin-off company was named Siri. Siri Incorporated. Yeah. So Siri is a watered down version of CALO. And what's even more interesting is Apple ended up purchasing Siri, as you may know. In 2007, they made that purchase, and they didn't utilize the software, I think, until 2010. I believe the very first iPhone Apple product to have it was iPhone 4S. Pretty sure some of you Apple fanatics could probably correct me on that if I'm wrong, but I want to say it was the Apple 4S that got the first version of Siri. And yeah, that came from basically the government. So do with that information as you wish. Other Apple products also have versions of CALO as well, such as Tempo, I think Trap It, and it was like a third one. Sorry, I got a Samsung, so I don't really know a lot of, Apple tech. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, there's like 2 or 3 other products that are more Apple centric that also utilize CALO's technology a little bit. Hope I'm saying this name right. Adam Shire, maybe Shire, one of those two. He was a lead interrogator on the team. And I know, interrogator, that sounds kind of scary, but apparently it means something different in this line of work. Basically, he was a manager. That's kind of it. He was one of the managers over the CALO project. After the CALO project, he ended up making his own company. His company is called Viv Labs, V-I-V Labs. And that ended up making its own personal assistant AI type of software as well. Well, that company ended up getting purchased by none other than Samsung. Samsung used the technology that was in Viv Labs for their personal assistant, and they ended up coming out with Bixby. I know I said I have a Samsung, but I don't use Bixby. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Adam. I don't use it. Sorry. But yes, so some of the AI technology we have nowadays, and I'm pretty sure if I was a guessing man, I'd say even Alexa and Google, they probably had a little bit of that technology rubbed off onto them from CALO as well. CALO seems to be one of the pioneers in this front, and it still freaks me out a little bit that even though these personal assistants are pretty nice to us, pretty useful, I could say, hey, I'm not going to say it because I don't want it to go off, and, tell me the weather, tell me the stocks, whatever. And it's going to, throw that information at me. How long is it going to take me to get to work? Blankety blank, traffic's this, that. It's still a watered down version of it. And what I really want you to take from all of this, because I think this is the very unique part about this, is, this type of technology to us now in 2022 seems, it's cool, but we've already gotten used to it. We've already gotten acclimated to it and, basically adjusted to it, right? I want you to think about it. The version that they were working with was still probably more sophisticated than what we currently have. And it's almost 20 years old. It was like in 2003. And right now on the screen, I'm just going to put a few pieces of technology that were out in like 2003 to 2006 and 2007, just to show you like what we were playing with then is like not even compared to the AI that they were working on at that same exact time, which, like it's just crazy. So, they always say the government is like 20, 50 years ahead technologically. And it's like, this is a very clear, to me, indicator that kind of rings true a little bit. So yeah, do with all of that nice, fine information as you wish. So tell me, how do you feel in the comments section below? Do you use any of these personal assistants in your daily life? Have they made any kind of impact on you? How do you feel about it? I mean, I don't think any of them have really went rogue yet, so that's a good thing. And I trust that these engineers have to put some protocols in place to make sure that never happens. Hopefully, cross fingers. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I use my Google Homes at my crib quite often. Turn on lights, change temperatures, check the weather, check my commutes, a whole gang of stuff I utilize it for. So it's helped me out. Yeah, let me know in the comments how you feel about that. And just to let you guys know, right over here, you can't see it, but there's a board and I have some of the topics coming up on the board. I just want to give you a little bit of information of what to expect in the coming weeks. So conspiracy theory iceberg number 2 is going to be the next video. Psychoenergetics. I really want to talk to you guys about that. It's some weird, freaky stuff the government was playing around with. Operation High Jump. And yeah, that's all I'm going to give you for right now. I see a couple more topics, but yeah, stick around, guys. More information coming to you soon. Other than that, I hope you have a fantastic day. If you made it this long, big shout out to you. Really appreciate you. Good God, man. The fact that people, even care to listen this long is, Like, I don't have words to really say. I appreciate it. Thank you. Plan on making some more content, some more videos. Like I said, some of them are going to start getting dark, especially in the month of October. So just, sit back, sit tight. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.